Hi everyone. Today we're going to try making peeps and pets. So peeps are little people. We're going to be making ours out of cardboard. And the cool thing about these little people is that they're built in such a way that they have feet that stick out. And those feet let them stand up. So we're going to make some of these little peeps that can stand up. And we're also going to try making some little pets that can stand up. I was inspired to do this activity by this book, The First Drawing, because in this book, a boy uses art to express what he sees in his imagination. And it's also a book that has a lot of clues about how early humans survived in the wilderness. It has clues about the shelter that they used, and the different things that were in their environment that were resources to them, like stones and water and different inventions that they made as well, like fire, learning how to use and control fire, and learning how to have pets, learning how to domesticate wolves so that they became our pet dogs. So, anyway, that's the background for what inspired the peep making activity, the first drawing. And now let's make some peeps. All right, so what you'll need to make some peeps are you will need these resources and tools. One resource that you will need is thin cardboard. I find that cereal boxes are a really good source of this cardboard. I have some here that was inside an envelope that was mailed to me. So here's some cardboard, and it's pretty thin. I would not recommend using those big boxes that get mailed to your house because that's very thick cardboard and it's very hard to cut with scissors. Scissors are something else that you will need for this activity. And after you've got your cardboard and your scissors, you might also want to get some colored pencils or some markers or whatever else you like to draw with. Maybe you like pens or a nice sharp pencil or something else. If you're using a marker, it should probably be a pretty fine tip marker so that you can draw nice fine lines on your cardboard because we're going to be working pretty small today. So if you've got some things to color with and you've got your cardboard and your scissors, you're ready to start making a peep. Um, we're going to be making our peeps about as big as our pinky, but we're going to make two at a time. And we're going to make our square of cardboard that we start with about as big as our palm. I'll show you. So my square of cardboard is about as big as my palm. And my finished peep, well, she's a little taller than my pinky, but you get the idea. All right. So now that we have all of our materials gathered, I'll show you the process. This is the system that I worked out using a square of cardboard that I would cut. You might come up with a better way. That's great. I would love to see you send me a video about your different way of doing it. Here's mine. So out of my bigger piece of cardboard, I'm going to sketch out lightly with a pencil a shape that looks like a square about as big as my palm. I can even kind of use my hand to measure it. Okay. It doesn't have to be a perfect square, but I'll go ahead and cut that out. Once I've got my cutout square here, I'm going to sketch in some lines to guide me as I make my two peeps, because remember, we're going to get two peeps out of this. And with your pencil, you're going to take your square, sketch a line down the middle. Along the bottom, this is the area where you're going to have some feet. The feet don't have to be very big, maybe like as wide as a fingernail. about that far across. If you work in pencil, you can always erase if you make your line a little bit different from how you wanted it. All right, so there I've got my 2 cards for my 2 peeps. I've got their little foot card that I'll cut their feet out of. And now it's time to sketch the peeps themselves. Oh, you can see down here, I did take the feet and put a little line in the middle. That's just so I can have 2 feet. You can also make a peep like this one that I made to look like my daughter Fiona. You can make it with just 1 foot sticking out. But I kind of liked the way it looked with 2 feet when I made this peep. So that's the way I'm going to show you today, but you can do it either way. So let me remember to go back and do that with my other pieces. So I'm going to put a line in the middle, 1 foot, 2 foot, another line in the middle, 1 foot, 2 foot. Now these cards pretty much match up. All right, so next up I need to sketch out the basic shape of a person. I'm going to start with a circle at the top. That seems good. And for this person, maybe I'll make their head a slightly different shape. Like maybe I'll make more of an oval, or ooh, how about a heart shape? That's a cute face shape. Sometimes people have heart face shape. And I can think about hair that they might have. Maybe this person has cool curly hair. Maybe this person has long straight hair. Oh, and speaking of long straight hair, if you want to have shoulders, if you want to have hair in front of your shoulders, draw that in now, because the shoulders are next. All right, shoulders, pretty easy. You can just draw a line from the head to the edge of their rectangle. This is like their little bed that they're sleeping in. All right, so their shoulders go right out to the edge like that. And this person, I can just draw a line because their hair is covering most of their shoulder. All right. After I have the person sketched in and I know what all I want to do with them, I could maybe draw some hands in here. I like to do my hands by doing like 2 little circles. And then if I put a little circle on top of that circle, let me see if I can zoom in and show you a little better. If you put a little circle above that circle, it kind of looks like a thumb, like when you hold your hand like this and the thumb's on top. If you draw 2 little hands in the middle, you can draw 2 little arms coming up to the shoulders. And the inside line doesn't go all the way to the shoulder because that's the armpit. That's their armpit. And you can make the body down here look like whatever, but before you draw the legs, I would draw 2 plus signs. Let me show you what I mean. I use a marker so that it can really show up. So this is my foot. I want to draw a little line that just goes halfway down my foot. That's going to be part of a little plus sign I'm going to draw. I'm going to go boop, boop. And I'll know that that's where my cross piece is going to go for my foot. I'm going to do one that matches over here. It's going to go about halfway down, and it's going to go the same distance on the other side. So all these arms sticking out should be about equal. All right. And now that I've got those plus signs, I know, well, I shouldn't make them only have one leg, right? I need to connect both legs. And then I need a little space in the middle. And now I can put their feet on when they're done. So here's a quick sketch of a person. Shoulders up to their neck. Their cute little heart-shaped face. Their wonderful curly hair. And this is about the point that I got to when I was designing this little person. The only thing I did differently here is you can see I've made the feet into triangles. So I'm going to make that. and that, because I kind of like how the triangle feet look. That's what her feet are like too. Well, these are more like trapezoids. I can make them more like trapezoids like this. All right, now a person isn't a person without a face. So let's put a happy little face on this person here. Nice eyebrows. Ooh, they're looking a little surprised. Little nose. Huh, and a little smile. All right, oh, maybe ears. Oh, and I wonder what kind of clothes they're wearing. Well, since my other peeps were kind of inspired by cave clothes, I could do like cave clothes. Well, I'll leave that up to you. So you can see how you could keep going and keep designing your peep. But oh my goodness, this video is getting very long, so I think I better get to the cutting out part. All right. I'm going to cut out this outline that we just did. This part can be tricky, so if you need to do a rough cut first, that means just going around the outside of it and not going into every single little detail. Just do like that outline. You don't even need to cut in to take those spaces out on either side of the neck. You could really just leave them on there and they would give you more space to color. You could create kind of a background. What you do need to cut out, though, in order to make the peep stand up, is you need to be able to cut out the feet. So we're now going to cut across the two plus signs. And that leaves us with our peep and these 2 feet that we designed. I'm going to cut out that trapezoid shape. Oh, look at that trapezoid. And I'm going to cut out that other trapezoid shape. And this little triangle can go into my scrap pile. And now I've got 2 trapezoid feet and 2 little legs waiting for feet. So I'm going to take my peep and I'm going to cut where that plus sign was. Now the tricky thing about cardboard is you can't just make one cut, even though that's just one line. To make one cut, and then right next to it, cut. So you're actually kind of cutting out this little tiny strip. You see that? See a tiny strip that I'm cutting out? And I want to grab that tiny strip and either rip it off or cut it off. Because now I've made a slot. Now I can slot the feet into that. All right. Time to cut the other one. All right, so I cut 2 slots. Now, if you just cut twice in the same spot and you kind of wiggle the scissors in there, it will open up a slot. But try to get those 2 little cuts and rip off the little slice that comes out. See if you can do that. That's a challenge. Now, we have to do the same thing with these feet. Ooh, and these are little pieces. Be careful. Don't cut your finger. This is very nice cardboard to work with. Some cardboard is thinner, like the cardboard that my seltzer cans come in. That's a thinner cardboard, and it was easier to cut, but it was harder to get it to stand up because it was so light and thin that it was flimsy and it kept falling over. I like this cardboard. It's like just right. So now I have my peep and 2 feet. And now we put the feet on. So what we do is we turn the foot so the slots are still lining up, but the foot is turned this way. And I'm going to put those 2 slots together and gently push up with my thumb until they're together and the edges are really as even as they can be.